Alright, what is up everybody? Welcome to some more Tooth and Tail. I am Delphius. How are y'all doing? I'm doing good. Been pretty busy lately. Just traveling around a lot for work and for other things. But I'm really excited to get into today's matches. We are mostly wrapping up the tournament, which is very exciting. There's also Space Nuts bonus tournament on the side for folks who have already been knocked out and want to keep playing some Tooth and Tail. That is available. But what is going on? So, we've got some round of 16 games that we're going to finish up today. Then we've got a couple round of 8 games as well. And one round of 4 series has already been played, but I want to give QQ the opportunity to pick that up if he wants to stream that. If he hasn't streamed it by Tuesday evening, I will go ahead and stream it. My goal is that everything is streamed before next weekend. I'm trying to finalize it with everybody, but I'm hoping we can do the grand finals next weekend, Sunday, July 5th at 2 p.m. EST. So stay tuned for that. If you're on, it will be live. So if you're a YouTube viewer, if you want to come over to the Twitch channel and check us out here, we will be casting that live. Trying to get some of the details fine-tuned, kind of got some offers out to some folks to come on and cast with me for those matches, so it's going to be very exciting. But yeah, let's hop into it. We've got a bunch of games to cover today. We're going to start off with the round of 16 match between Szenszej and DeepSea, and then we're going to move into the round of 16 match between R22 and Xnor. Ignore the other replays on here. I guess that was a little spoilery of me, but we will be playing that round of 8 game too. The other round of 8 matches have been streamed on QQ's Twitch channel, so check those out on his Twitch if you're interested in those. And then we've got one more round of 8 game between, well, I don't want to say, I guess, between some players that I'm trying to work on getting the replays for. They were not uploaded, so I'm hoping I can cover those games Tuesday night as well. And then that'll put us to where everything has been covered, and we are looking forward to the grand finals. The last round of 4 match, they're having a little bit of scheduling issues, so that will be at a later date, but once that happens, I will also try to get that up on YouTube. So really looking forward to wrapping this season up. I mean, of course, I guess I've been yapping too much to introduce these players, but on the left-hand side, we've got DeepSea. On the right, we've got Szenszej. Both very strong players. DeepSea has been very close to winning the grand finals for quite some time now. So curious if they will be able to make it this season and finally clinch that crown. Meanwhile, Szenszej has always been a very solid player for quite some time, for several years. Also on the short list of folks who have been grinding, who are very strong players, and could potentially take the tournament. I mean, obviously here in the round of 8, right? So we'll have to see what happens. Boar for Szenszej here. Meanwhile, DeepSea, actually with some moles. Curious what they're up to. Maybe considering trying to be sneaky with a few mole warrens. But now it looks like they're just looking to see what the scout is. So sees a tier 2 warrens, and actually, yeah, trying to punish Szenszej here for the late tier 1. This is pretty common in modern Tooth and Tail to get that tier 2 very quickly. Look at this. This is a tragedy for Szenszej. Big tempo losses here, and DeepSea gonna go home and be very happy to have delayed the production here from Szenszej. Meanwhile, DeepSea getting into some squirrels, gonna attack here, getting the cam as well. Squirrel cam very powerful, can also utilize some moles on the front line as well. Gonna go ahead and get one pig and trade that for a squirrel and run away. So far looking very good for DeepSea, in a pretty commanding lead at the moment. Szenszej gonna try to counterattack here and get something done. And they're just gonna have to pull back for now. So a little bit of damage in the early game, but it's not something that it's impossible to recover from. However, against very strong players, that sentiment gets a little bit harder, right? You know, you don't want to give DeepSea any kind of advantage. And they're going to move out now. They've got a handful of squirrels and a chameleon here. Curious if they're going to do any mole warrants to just try to end the game. That's exactly the play that's going to happen. Might wait for a mole. Curious if they're going to wait for the other cam. Actually just decides to come home and not attack after all. Maybe just spooked away by the skunks, decided not worth it with the army composition here with all the squirrels. And DeepSea's now going to get into a second base. Meanwhile, Szenszej just posturing for an attack. This is a pretty strong army. Ooh, you got to be careful. Oh, good cam drag. Is this going to be a dead skunk? This is interesting. DeepSea really holding these chameleons. Okay, decides not to attack that skunk, but does push the attack all the way back. Actually really well done on the retreat there from Szenszej. Most of the time in Tooth and Tail, it's very hard to retreat. So the fact that they're able to pull that off, pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, we getting a cabin? Is Szenszej a campfire gamer? I'm a big campfire gamer. Alright, important scout here for Sasha. Does see the boar coming. So DeepSea probably gonna get the snakes. If I had to guess. What's gonna be the move? Or falcons. Yeah, maybe do you sell a squirrel to get some snakes too? No, I'm just gonna go straight up falcons here. DeepSea does have the economic lead at the moment. That campfire will help. Szenszej not be quite so far behind on the farms. And the boar is bought and paid for. So this is going to be an interesting clash of armies. The snake's going to try to get some bacon. No, one stack's not enough. You need two. Gonna pull it back from now. I've kind of noticed that snakes have been very strong this patch, or this meta, I should say. A lot of the high-level players are utilizing snakes quite often. Alright, needs to be careful here. This attack from Szenszej might be a little bit ill-advised, as it was probably better to wait for that boar. Now when the boar comes out, there's really not going to be so much support for it. Szenszej really relying on the squirrels here to take out these falcons, but the skunk's doing a good job putting a lot of pressure on the squirrels, starting to AoE them down, and this attack might have backfired. Yeah, here's the boar, but the boar by itself against a group of falcons is not going to be very good. And DeepSea might just be cracking this in for the win here. Yeah, the boar is not going to be enough. We have a lot of games to get to today, so I will be fast-forwarding through through the refusing to surrender part of the game. But GG, DeepSea taking match number 1 here. Okay, cool. Let's hop into match number 2. Alright, on the bottom left we got DeepSea, and up top, Szenszej. Nice little winter map here. And DeepSea with a pretty big deck change up here. We're gonna go Badger, Wolf. Interesting combo. Meanwhile, Szenszej dropped the tier 3 completely and a little bit more of an aggressive line. Triple tier 1 with chameleons. The turret's an interesting pick. I think turret's super strong. It's just time and a place kind of situation that holds it back a little bit. It can be hard to find the slot in the deck for the turret. And look at this, a 4-farm Warren from Szenszej that went unscouted, but DeepSea is a little bit sus. Can one squirrel take down a pig? I think it might have been able to if they didn't move it. Bull Warren coming out to destroy the Warren of DeepSea. DeepSea's in trouble here. First pig falls. Good positioning on that back Warren. That's going to be very hard to get to. So Szenszej just going to ignore that and continue to attack with the pigs, and attack the pigs rather. It's just going to scoop it up and go home, so I wonder if that attack was worthwhile. I mean, DeepSea did lose a couple pigs, but keep in mind that Szenszej also had their economic production delayed, you know, kind of getting the later farms to do that early attack. And the turret too, just make sure that they're okay if DeepSea decided to all in there. now, I think Szenszej needs to get back into some farms, and we're gonna move on. So I think it ends up pretty even here. You know, DeepSea lost a Warren, lost 2 pigs, but Szenszej did have to invest in that mole Warren as well. Didn't really drop a whole lot of units, maybe a mole died or 2, but that was really it. So I feel like we're pretty even. Maybe Szenszej even has a little bit of a lead. Let's see how DeepSea decides to get back into this game. This map could go either direction. I feel like both players have some pretty reasonable expansion options. Also, it's not like a crazy long rush distance either. Alright, I get to ban somebody from the chat. Awesome. Oh, I should mod them. Goodbye. It was, buyAIviewers.com. Alright. Szenszej attacking here. Squirrel Toad is going to be quite potent. Needs to find the right angles, though. Decides to go back for now. I like this decision from DeepSea. Kind of expand and then just make a ton of tier 1. I think that this Squirrel Toad, though, is kind of, you know, you're walking right into it here. And yeah, this is a great follow-up from Szenszej. I really like this playstyle, to be honest. Like, if you are gonna have a super aggressive deck like this, you need to be aggressive, right? I mean, it's kind of common sense, but like, opening up with a 4-farm Warren, and then continuing to kind of keep the game down in the dirt. Alright, DeepSea gonna try to micro back the squirrels as best they can, and did a pretty good job, but those toads were able to connect still. And I wonder if this is too much damage. He needs to finish off that pig there before retreating. There we go. This could be a Szenszej victory here. Just hyper-aggressive in DeepSea's face the whole time. But keep in mind, DeepSea does have those farms on the other base as well. And probably will just continue to build farms there rather than rebuild in the main. Oh, Ziggy's in chat. Yeah, I was wondering if any mods are in chat. I denied you your chance to ban. Sorry about that. I know it feels good. Alright. Maybe we're gonna stabilize it to a mid-game here? Let's see. Szenszej keeping the pressure on. At least just posturing. No moles here. Gonna continue to rebuild back up those toads. Alright. DeepSea gonna push back the army for now. Might pick up a toad or 2. Yeah, I think we're getting into a little bit of a mid-game here, so we do have a lot to cover today, so yeah, we might do a little fast-forwarding just when there's not a whole lot going on in the game. So right now, we are fast-forwarding ×2 a little bit. Okay. Second bases are getting developed. No tier 3 or anything. DeepSea's under a lot of pressure. And these farms right here, very smartly, DeepSea has not taken those yet because they're very easy to just do clip abuse from. Oh, these, be careful, lose a falcon there. Oh, lose both falcons. That's really good for DeepSea. I don't know if Szenszej can continue this attack. I'm really impressed that DeepSea's been holding on as well as they have been. I really thought that previous attack from Szenszej was too much damage, but good connections on those toads there. It takes out a lot of units, but DeepSea is able to push back for now. The pigeon's doing a lot of work, helping keep the units alive. And the falcons are coming back. We got some chameleons. We'll ×2 here. So DeepSea taking the rest of the farms on the second base. Gonna get it pretty good. This is an important scout here. Gets a good read on where Szenszej is on his economy. Checking around for any tier 3 Warrens. Meanwhile, Szenszej moving the army over. Decides to bring it back, though. Ooh, what's Szenszej up to? Trying to do something cheeky here with the moles, but I think did DeepSea see it, or was that just kind of a coincidence? I don't think they've seen it. Doing the oh my gosh, right there, out of view. Doing these like two-pronged attacks are very hard in Tooth and Tail. It's kind of a staple of like StarCraft, right? So now it's gonna be hard for Szenszej to move the army, because instead of rallying all, he has to rally each of the groups individually to maintain the moles where they're at. So that's a little bit easier to do on keyboard rather than controller. Szenszej does scout the Badger Warren. The moles will come in and maybe destroy this mill. Not a super effective attack, but I like the trying of his style. And, I mean, if the mill goes down, DeepSea doesn't really care. It's not really mining anymore. Szenszej is going to start attacking them. These moles just might start wreaking havoc on the infrastructure here from DeepSea. But the problem is, Szenszej's units are attacking buildings, while DeepSea's units are attacking Szenszej's units, right? So DeepSea will win this fight pretty handedly. Ooh, even losing that last Falcon is going to be pretty brutal. And I think DeepSea's going to be okay. Like, a lot of infrastructure damage there, but the Badger is bought and paid for. There's a handful of pigeons to help heal it. And was that worth it from Szenszej? Big defeat in the army there. So we will ×2 for a second. And really, we're gonna wait for this Badger to come out. Szenszej gets a nice deep scout there, sees all the infrastructure from DeepSea, but you know, what is gonna be the answer to the Badger? Desperately trying to build some Falcons, but I think DeepSea just kind of runs over here. So really good comeback from DeepSea, able to weather the storm of some strong aggression from Szenszej, but I think Szenszej kind of dropped the ball on a few of those attacks. I also like taking these grist mills here because you can see that Szenszej is already trying to build some moles, but a little bit too little too late. Needs to come home and help defend. But building those extra mills is just going to allow DeepSea to have the comfort knowing that they're not going to get cheese out of the game by losing their mill. Here comes a big battle, but the Badger already holding strong. The Badger was able to just gun down that mill from a distance, so again, this is a already won the war situation, but I think that's GG anyway, so nicely done by DeepSea. Really good comeback there. Alright, so it sounds like the last round of 4 game is going to be played next weekend. Just from some organizations been going on in the back end, so we'll keep our eye out for that. Next weekend, we're also doing the grand finals, so definitely tune in live for that. It's going to be pretty hype. In the top, we've got DeepSea with Ferret Raccoon versus Szenszej or Fox Balloon. Let's go. Yeah, we are doing the finals next weekend. Trying to confirm with all the players that the timing works. But it's going to be next Sunday, 2 p.m. EST, July 5th. Hopefully I'm not hungover from having too much time on July 4th. That is one of my favorite holidays. And we got invited to a house party, so I'm looking forward to that. I just love to put on my American flag t-shirt and drink beer and eat hot dogs. Blow things up. Fun time. Alright. And there is more Tooth and Tail going on, by the way. There's Space Nuts bonus tournament. Not sure how long that's gonna go, but I like that idea. I think next season I might iterate, because I think that looking back, I think we had 2 main problems this season. You know, issue number 1 was folks would sign up and then just kind of ghosted, or you know, didn't participate, which really messed up the brackets. And then number 2 was, where's the incentive, you know, with this like group stage style that we're doing, this like round robin group stage, if you know you're not going to advance out, you really aren't incentivized to try to take the rest of your matches seriously or get them done. So I think what we'll do next time is we'll have this similar, oh, we got a little bit of a lizard attack coming in here. Those lizards are getting gunned down by this cabin a bit too. That's a little frustrating. But trying to punish Szenszej for the quick mill. I think Szenszej will be fine though. DeepSea's gonna kill a couple squirrels here, but enough tier 1 warrens coming out. Even some lizards on the way from Szenszej too. I always like opening up with lizards, but oh yeah, just finish my thought on the tournament season. So we'll still do the same thing next season, where, you know, the top will have 8 groups, the top 2 will advance, round of 16. But what we'll do different is we will, for those who don't advance to the round of 16, you're gonna get seeded into another single elimination tournament. If you want to play, you don't have to play. This gives people opportunity to play a little more organized, competitive Tooth and Tail, and it also incentivizes you to finish up your group, even if you're not going to make it out. Wow, this attack from Szenszej is pretty good. Yeah, DeepSea decides that's too much damage and taps out. That was a fast one. All right, we got a series on our hands now, boys. Szenszej fighting back. Let's go to game number 4. Alright, in the bottom left we got DeepSea, and in the top right we've got Szenszej, or I guess just the right and left, really. Nice little desert map. Who would I rather be here? Maybe Szenszej? Like, you just saw the lizards. I think both these players are doing a really good job, by the way, of changing up their decks. They actually ended up in a very similar deck here. The only differences are toads and pigeons for Zen, compared to mole and falcon for deep. But really cool. Again, lots of snakes at the moment. I think snakes are just a very microable units. They also do well against tier 2, tier 3. The only exception for the snake is they're not that great against tier 1, but that's where I've seen like folks do a lot of like skunk snake type things, right? They kind of do what the ferrets are supposed to do, you know? Like the snakes you can kind of siege with or like poke and prod, but they're just kind of an overall better unit than the ferret. The ferret's a very vulnerable unit. I do know that some folks have been experimenting with some like CG ferret balloon styles this season. I'd love to see stuff like that, you know, in the finals or whatever, but we got some snakes coming up. And yeah, I mean, ultimately though, I do think I like Szenszej's spawn better. It's just it's pretty easy to defend here. All these little doodads here, you know, this desert village kind of makes it difficult to attack into the base, so the point of contention is probably going to be here. I'm also a big fan of cabins. I think campfires are very, very strong in one base style games where you're not able to really commit to a second base. Just having that little bit of extra income is worth the investment and give you an advantage over your opponents. Snake taking a couple pop shots, unfortunate. But there should be enough squirrels here. Yeah, I think Szenszej just wanted to shoulder check a little bit on DeepSea and just make sure that those squirrels were built, that there were some units there to defend, and it looks like that is the case. Looks like DeepSea is going to go ahead and grab that campfire. Again, very smart move. You're basically just playing 9 farms versus 8. Ooh, needs to be careful with this snake. It'd be tragic to lose it. And I think it is going to die. Oh, it's going to get away. Kill a squirrel. Oh, man. Gotta be careful of that campfire, too. Alright, there's that cabin. This is a nice little spawn as well, though. You know, this is kind of weird and awkward to attack into. It kind of creates a choke point, so units can't, you know, when they start trying to walk through, they might get AoE down. So I think the spawn is perfectly fine for both sides. Getting into a lot of tier 2 here, and I'm liking the development of Szenszej's army a bit better. DeepSea's a little all in on tier 1, needs to get caught up on that tier 2. Looks like it's going to be Snake versus Cam, though. And, you know, pigeons really don't matter against snakes. I mean, I had to think about how to phrase that. I mean, they kind of do, but pigeons are really better on just kind of giving that little bit of group healing, you know, help you stay out on the map longer. Use the cams to try to take out that campfire. DeepSea did see the commander come over and rally, though, so gonna move their cams over. Now, this should favor DeepSea. We'll see. I mean, it's gonna be an unmicroed battle, but it depends on if anything attacks the... Ooh. Yeah, Szenszej losing a chameleon there. You can't really see what's going on in a situation like that. You just have to look at the mini-map, so... Saw one cam go down and retreated. Bit unfortunate because if they stuck around just a little bit longer, they would have traded 1-for-1. Yeah, all these pigeons are gonna do is just really kind of keep the army healthy, right? And I mean, it's like no duh, but I guess what I'm saying is, you know, if DeepSea targets down certain tier 2 with the snakes, I mean, the pigeons aren't gonna be able to heal through the snake poison. Snake poison, once it starts stacking is absolutely insane. Also, I don't know how I feel about commanders being poisoned. I feel like I'm the biggest snake hater, but here we go. Alright, some good snake tags from Szenszej. Wow, the army got absolutely brutalized there. Holy moly. I didn't pay close enough attention to that engagement, but I wonder what happened. Is that just gonna be game? I mean, good lord. So yeah, something went wrong with the engagement there for Szenszej pretty brutally. And DeepSea took that very handily. And I think that's just going to be it. So, DeepSea advancing to the round of 8 here. With a 3-1 victory over Szenszej.